Listen.
So, welcome to the official Bigger Than Social Media live call too. There was a bonus call yesterday because in the excitement of everything, I have got my calendar completely muddled up. Today, this is call 7 of the day for me, and let me tell you, my energy is on fire. So, get ready. I'm going to do a bit of a mini training to begin with, and then we're going to move into Q&A to really deepen anything that you need to deepen from the being bigger than social media trainings. I have seen the space light up with people catching up, with people getting into the momentum, with breakthroughs, with epiphanies, and then I've been having conversations with some of you behind the scenes as well, and I know that this space is really activating new fibers within your bodies and your souls. So I'm really excited about it. Who was on the Jamie Lissau call this afternoon? It was a last minute invitation. Cheryl, you were there. Ali, you were there. I'm going to share the recording with all of you guys in the 5-figure month membership space. It was so powerful, and he spoke so much about some of the things that I've been bringing forward within Bigger Than Social Media. And if you don't know who Jamie is, he is Jamie, Devin and I met Jamie when we first met in Costa Rica way back when, and we've been friends ever since. But he's a sellout comedian. He's on television. He writes Netflix shows with Adam Sandler and Kevin Hart and all of the people. And what was so beautiful about the session and why I really want to share it with you is some of you will know Jamie from television. He's on Gutfield, which is like a political show out here. But what we got to see today was the real, raw vulnerability, the man behind what is sometimes shared when you're in the public eye. And he spoke about everything that I've been teaching you in this space, bigger than social media. So it's really important for you guys to catch up on. Before we dive into today's training, I'd love to just hear your voices in the room. So something that you are thinking or feeling or experiencing right now in the moment. Let's connect to presence. April.
The word in all the trainings that has come up for me, and that I've been thinking, what the heck's that? And then really getting some understanding for is resonance. And been working at getting that integrated into my social media in trying to be more relatable, but with resonance.
Beautiful, powerful. And Jamie spoke about resonance today in a really magical way. So I want you to pay close attention to the recording. Cheryl, what about you?
Oh, one word. I don't know. I don't know. It's been a beautiful like acknowledgement, but also like just a whole other level as well.
Beautiful. Asti.
I just have to say, I feel like I've been completely wrung out. Like if I'm a sponge, I feel like I've been completely wrung out of all my old beliefs and misperceptions, and I'm soaking up a whole new way of looking at things. So it's been absolutely transformational.
Wow. I love it. I love it. It gives me goosebumps. Ali, out in nature.
Yes, I have been going very fast lately, and I have some catching up to do within the Telegram. But right now, I'm just enjoying the dirt underneath my feet and happy to be with you guys.
10 days until her wedding, ladies. 10 days, 10 days. This time, well, not this time, but next week we'll be on a flight to Ohio to attend, which we're really excited about. Debbie, what about you?
I think for me, it's been a bit of a light bulb moment. Going through the program, I think I'm very good at sort of talking about myself, my journey, especially when I'm one-to-one with people. The missing piece of the puzzle has been my clarity on my own business. And I know we covered that in a one-to-one yesterday. So I think moving forward, I'll be able to piece the two together.
Yes, so good, so good. And Nikki, I know you're listening. If you can unmute, if you're able to, and let us know how you're feeling in this moment. And if not, that's perfect too. There she is.
I saw it. I was trying to put you in my earphones, but they're like that because my other ones are dead. So I was just working on that in the background. Feeling good. Obviously, Jessie and I have just literally come off a one-to-one. So yeah, I am just packing now to get ready for tomorrow, but I was really keen to be in the space to listen. And I also just saw the invitation to the call earlier that I've missed, but I think I heard you say that there's going to be recording. So yeah, just feeling really excited, feeling really aligned. Enjoying working through the process, enjoying the creation, and yeah, just letting it all land in the body.
Aligned and amazing.
Aligned and amazing.
I feel it. Gemma, what's a word or a sentence to describe how you're feeling in this moment?
Right now, disorganized.
Disorganized and here.
And
so
here, yes.
This is time to breathe, settle in. We're going to start with a little bit of a training, a little bit of a recap of, you know, some of the things that we've covered, and then I'm going to open up for Q&A to take whatever you need to take to the next level, to take it deeper. So this has been a really powerful space. So powerful. Like, I've realized some things for myself through teaching you how to be bigger than social media. And, you know, I always say to you guys, put yourself through your own programs. And I've been doing the same thing. And I'm really excited about what has come from it. So before I even dive into today, I'm going to give you a little preview of something that I'm in creation of that's brand new and will be the most perfect follow on from this space ever. So the next program that's coming, it'll either be end of August or beginning of September, is going to be called She's the One. And I'm really going to support you to take everything that you've learned in this space around distinctions, around the humility of owning and claiming who you are, of resonance and being felt. And I'm really going to teach you how to build all of that into your brand so that your brand is undeniably known. So that's what's coming up next. Just a little preview, a little teaser. She's the One is what's coming up next, and it's in creation, and I'm just so excited about it. Because what you're learning in this space is, you know, being bigger than social media. It's not just being visible. So social media is the greatest tool on the planet, the greatest tool for free advertising, free marketing, for being social proof of everything that you teach, the results that you create, and for you to be the embodiment. However, being visible is not really enough if you want to create a long-term sustainable brand. And we've really been talking about being felt. And not just being felt once, but being felt so powerfully that people can never forget you. That's what we're creating in being bigger than social media. So we don't just want to be visible, we want to be the OMG, she is undeniably all that she declares herself to be. She is undeniably the one to take me to where I want to be, the result that she says that she takes people to. And we want people to feel that the moment they interact with you, whether that's online, whether that's in person. And so where that comes from is you, and this is all we've talked about in this program, being so anchored in your identity. Reminding people who you are by how you made them feel, not by teaching them something, but through being the one, right? That's really what we've been talking about. And so visibility is a non-negotiable. I haven't hidden the fact that social media is so important in this space. Visibility, it really is a non-negotiable. So whoever thought they were coming in here and I was going to say, it's okay, you don't need to do social media anymore. Like, sorry, you are going to have to do social media, right? However, if you're living in your life, the content is right in front of you. So visibility is really like the bare minimum. It's the surface level stuff. until you get really good at integrating everything you've learned in bigger than social media. So visibility is surface level. It might bring people into your world, but resonance is what makes them stay. Resonance is the difference between I'm being seen, I'm being noticed, and being felt. Resonance is also the difference between, oh, you're doing really well, you're inspiring, like I love your stuff, and people buying. So identity is everything. And you don't need millions of followers, you don't need loads of engagement to be selling out your offers. You're going to see people on social media who've got like 1 million followers and 0 engagement. And it's all irrelevant. You don't even need people to engage with your social media to buy from you. People can buy all those things, followers, likes, like all of that. You have to be connected to, you are the algorithm. You are the algorithm. You're responsible for how many people come into your world and stay into your world. So we're not doing visibility. We actually don't care how many people are watching. What we really want to focus on is like what's the word I'm looking for? We really want to focus on the weight behind your presence. The weight behind your presence, how deeply people feel you. Because when they feel you, like they really feel your story, like this woman is sharing her story with me. And one phrase that I never use, but I seem to have used consistently throughout this program is warts and all, right? You've heard me say, like, share your story, warts and all, because that's what people want. They don't want the polished, perfect version. They want you. Because in you, they feel something, they see something about themselves. They have permission not to be at a certain level, creating in a certain way, dress in a way to be in your world. Automatically, they feel safe because you're not hiding. And even if you think you're not hiding, if you're hiding or you're not being who you declare yourself to be behind the scenes, people feel it. And they can't necessarily name it, but how many people have you been around and you're like, something just feels a little bit off, right? Or they have energy that I don't like. They look nice, but I'm not vibing with that energy. And it's because there's a lack of consciousness behind the scenes. That's not you. So you want to really allow people to feel you, because when they feel you so deeply, it gives you credibility. When you're committed to people feeling you so deeply, there's no other option but to be in alignment only always. And you might want to ask yourself this question. It's like, if I'm really devoted to taking people on this journey of transformation, if I'm really devoted to taking people on this journey of transformation, why am I cheating them and why am I cheating myself? By saying one thing, but then letting thoughts like nobody will know but me creep in. And if you've created a standard for yourself where you say, I use these specific tools, and these are my non-negotiables, and these are my cornerstones, but you're struggling to stay committed and connected to them, we might want to adjust your standard. And there's nothing wrong with that. You want to set yourself up for success. You want people to feel you're successful in everything that you say you're committed to. And when you achieve success there, you can stretch the standard again. April and I had a really good conversation about that this week. I said, April, how big do you want to go? And she declared how big she wants to go. And then she had this little fear that came in, and it was like, but I need to train my nervous system that that's okay. I said, that might be true. And I challenged her on it. Right? So you get to set your standards, and everyone's going to have different standards, and people will feel how deeply connected you are to everything that you teach and whether you're being who you declare behind the scenes. They'll feel it. Now, I also want to reiterate that your life is your social media content. And we spoke about in the trainings, the micro moments in your life are actually the macro moments in your content. So you get to ask yourself, like on a daily basis or a weekly basis, however you review and reflect, it's like, when was the moment this week when I wanted to pack it all in? Because I realized that I have to do social media for the rest of my life. When was the moment that I decided that I want to pack it all in, and I felt it all, and I had all the reasons, and I could justify it, and I was frustrated, and I wanted to throw the laptop off the wall, and I took myself out for a walk, and I reminded myself who the F I am, and I got back into action in alignment with the business that I actually want to have. That would be so powerful for your clients to hear if you link it to the transformation you take them to. Rather than being like, oh my goodness, I had the best week ever. I spent 50 hours in Canva and I loved every minute of picking out the fonts and the colors and, adding pictures. Like, which one is believable? Unless you're a designer, the first one is way more believable, right? So immediately you build trust. The person's got credibility. Oh, they're speaking real talk. They're telling the truth. Another micro moment in your world might be when it was Sunday and you were on your way to the airport with your godsons to say goodbye after an extraordinary week, and you had a quick look at your phone and you realized that one of your clients was in a deep crisis. And you took 5 minutes out from your godsons because they know Auntie Jess gave up all her time this week and she's got a real big mission in the world, and they wanted to go to the candy shop and couldn't give two hoots about what I was doing at that moment in time, and you did a really quick call because you know that you get to have it all. It's a powerful moment for somebody. It's not my norm, and sometimes I bend my boundaries to support my people. It's how I work. It might be the real powerful moment where you wanted to argue with your spouse, but you bit your tongue because you chose to be love. So I really want you to remember that the micro moments that you bypass as not being important or relevant to your clients are actually the reasons that she's probably going to buy from you. Because your clients are not really just buying your offer. Your clients are buying the fact that you've walked the path that they're walking. Your clients are buying your leadership. Your clients are buying the fact that you've made all the mistakes, and maybe they don't have to make as many because you've been there, you've done that, you can guide them so powerfully. But if you're not allowing them to feel the real you, and you're polishing your messages to sound how you think they want them to sound, you're not leading her to real transformation. And I just want you to let that land. Sometimes, ladies, queens, you're not going to want to show up on social media. And that's okay. You actually don't have to post every single day. I would encourage you to, and you don't have to. This is your business. You could actually post on social media once in a 30-day period, and you'll have 30 days of content. You just stack it all. You schedule it all. get to do that. You don't have to show up on social media every day. You can still be visible on social media every day. Something you do have to do every single day, whether you post on social media daily or monthly or however you do it, is you do have to lead yourself every day. You have to lead yourself through it all. And you get to lead yourself knowing that your energy creates ripples wherever you go, whoever you're with, because of who you're being, your vibration. I lead myself every day through all of the moments. Some you see and some you don't, but you feel all of the moments. Who you're being and how your dream clients feel because of who you're being is what's remembered, is what creates resonance. When you realize that this is how to be bigger than social media, you're going to create a business and a brand that really breathes with you. A business and a brand that is successful just by you existing as the greatest version of yourself. And that's what we're here for. So before we dive into the Q&A section of today, I really want you to ask yourself, like, where am I still hiding? Where am I not saying what needs to be said? Where am I keeping the micro moments that are actually those macro moments for my dream clients to myself? What do I need help with? What's the question I want to ask that I really don't want to ask, that can really open up something for me in this moment? Okay, if you have a question, just pop hot seat in the chat box and I got you. April, come on up. See that? One person writes it, then you're like, oh my God, I just didn't want to go first.
I thought about waiting for somebody else to put it first. Oh, I felt time anyway. So from what you just said there, Jess, the micro moments, I've been sharing those, a couple of things that are happening yesterday and through this last week or so, those little things, and been doing more resonance or working towards getting I keep wanting to say residence. Resonance.
Yes.
How much more? Where else am I missing it? Have you seen any of them lately?
So I don't really pay that much attention to
Okay.
social media, right? And that is the honest truth. So I do have a look every now and again, and I haven't seen the latest ones because I haven't really been paying attention to social media. I can have a look in a second while we're on the call. However, what I heard just in your question, April, was I'm trying to do resonance. I heard that. And then there was like, I think you said something along the lines of like, how do I do more? Or what was the language you used?
Yeah, how do I get more of it right?
Right.
What?
This is it. And I love that you asked this question because being bigger than social media is absolutely not about doing more.
No.
It's about living in your life more, and it's about practicing sharing from the heart the things that you've been scared to say. It's about you using your tools and intentionally showing the impact of that.
So in that case, I got it nailed. I've done it. Thank you.
Right. And a lot of people think, oh my God, like, what do I have to do? What's the more? But actually, we want to strip it right back. It's not about doing more. It's about being so connected to the things that you teach. It's about being so connected to using your tools. It's about, I have a freaking result from this journey so far, and I can confidently take people to that same result because I've lived it.
Yeah.
However, I'm not okay with this result being my final result. So my story is I'm now creating the next level of result. And then once I've created that, I'm going to teach you all of that too. Right? So I didn't used to teach people how to make 5-figure months. And very soon I'll be offering you a space called the 6-figure month member. I won't really, but I could, right? So it's like, you know, I could confidently, shortly, in a short while, teach you how to create 6-figure months. I'm not going to teach you that right now because I haven't created consistent 6-figure months, right? But that's what I'm working on. So I'm using my tools, but I'm also, what's the next level of this? What's the next level of this? I want to continually evolve. So I'm always going to have something to share, to teach. And when you're so busy living in your life and stepping into your next level, because you've nailed the result that you're teaching everybody else, when you're then working on your next level, your evolution, you're not worried about what's going on over here. You're just like, I'm so freaking confident. I love my offer suite. I don't need to change anything. I'm not going to be creating anything new. I'm going to stick to the basics. I'm going to keep it simple. And I'm working on me being the greatest natural painkiller that ever existed in history.
Yeah, what I recognize now is that I'm in frustration. So I acknowledge that and can move forward from it. Okay.
Really, really good. Really, really good. I had a distinction. I had a one-on-one this morning with Denise. And I'd woken up and I was like, we need to name this call. Like, we literally need to name this call. And it was something, I've forgotten the name now because that was 7 calls ago. But it was something about roots. It was like, we really need to create roots that are so solid that this is where the conviction comes from. And we're so grounded in, I could teach this with my eyes shut, and I'm going to be on my own journey, becoming the greatest version of myself. And I'm going to teach these people at the same time. And these people are going to be in my world forever because when they have the foundation, they'll be ready for this evolution that I've just experienced. 7 calls, thanks. It's so hot in New York today. My skin is glowing probably because I'm like literally so hot. Thank you. April, any like supplementary question or anything else coming off of that?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Okay, Debbie, coming up.
So I felt pretty rubbish the last, I don't know, 10 days or so. And I almost feel because I portray a really healthy lifestyle that I'm almost sort of, I can't go online and say how rubbish I feel, or I can't say how healthy, I don't know, how can I talk about being so healthy when I feel so rubbish? Or is that a micro moment? Can I turn that around and make it stuff to talk about? And I have been doing a little bit about that, and then I think, well, is this really what I should be talking about? But this is real life, and COVID gets us all. And I was going to say something else as well. And I also this week, because I felt so low, I almost felt like, well, what have I got a business? What's the point? What's the point in anything? And then we've had a chat, and then you think, well, actually, I do have a powerful story. I'm here to support people. But how do you actually get that into? I really struggle with living the life and then getting it onto social media out there. That's where I struggle.
And it's literally overthinking that's getting in the way, because I did see a post that you made on the day that you got COVID, and I reached out to you because we had a one-on-one call that day. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I had reached out, and your post was a video. I think you were in your pajamas or dressing gown or something, and you went on your social media and you're like, I've just had a full week of absolute overflow. I gave it my all. I treated April to the most extraordinary immersion. And this morning, I've woken up with COVID. Yet I am hot, healthy, and have it all in my 50s. And your message was something along the lines of, so I'm not going to allow this to take me out. And thank goodness I have the tools that I do. Right? So you stepped into that. But now you're second guessing yourself. You're like that. Is it okay for me to be sick? Of course it's okay for me to be sick. And this is such an important message. It's like you're not teaching people how to be 100% perfect all the time. In fact, part of your message is you get to have days off, you get to dance on tables, you get to have a hangover, and most of the time you're going to be hot and having it all, and you're going to be healthy because you choose those moments. Or when you're not feeling 100%, you have the tools. You're never going to spiral into deep, dark depression and, oh my God, I'm about to die. You're certainly not going to be worried about diagnosis. You understand what's going on. You're excited. You get extra permission from the universe to Netflix and chill and, all of the things for a week. And you've created a life where spiritually and emotionally, it doesn't take you out, even when the physical needs a break.
I think I started off well. I started off like that, but then it just took a hold and it just went down and down. And then I really struggled to come up with what to talk about.
That's it. And it was just the overthinking. Whereas if you just got into, and this is for all of you, when you feel depleted, when you don't feel like you're operating at 100%, your go-to is always to double down on your tools. Only always. Then your content is, I'm not feeling 100%. Some of you might think, well, she's the, hot, healthy, and having it all woman. Why isn't she feeling 100%? Activating. So now they're curious. If she's got all the answers, why doesn't she feel 100%? And then you've got your message to step in with. Right?
Yeah.
So you want to double down on using your tools. And if you can't think what to say, it's like, watch how quickly I recover. Today, I'm going to be by the pool, blowing my nose. I'm going to be, sipping my bone broth by the Pilates mat that I'm going to use in 4 days' time, like whatever it is for you. So you double down on your tools and you show people how you get through the challenge. You don't give up. You're not in despair. You're not the diagnosis prevention queen overnight. No, I'm Debbie, freaking hot, healthy, having it all. Look at my recovery plan. Boom.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm not showing enough of the real me. And it's like, here's your permission to do that.
Yes, there's nothing to hide.
Yeah.
And when you need your tools more than ever, people want to see that. Oh, they do work. She's using them. Oh, she does get that. Okay, that's how she gets from A to B.
Yeah.
It's great content, the best content.
Thank you, Jess.
You're welcome. Asti, come on up.
Hey, that literally answered my question.
Hey.
I kind of had the same one. Like, if you're supposed to be the guru and you know that you know what you're about and you have all the things, then what if you're having an off moment? Like, share, not share. So that was very helpful. Thanks, Debbie.
Yeah. And the only difference between the master and the student is the master knows that he is always a student. You have to be the greatest student of your tools. This is why I tell all of you, put yourself through your course. Put yourself through your course 365 days a year. If you don't have content, that's where you're going to find it. It's like, oh, I did module 1 of my course today, and I realized I haven't been getting enough sleep. I did module 1 of my course today, and I realized I hadn't hugged a tree in a minute. I did module 1 of my course today, and I realized that I'm a really freaking powerful leader online, yet behind the scenes, there's some things where nobody would know but me. I'm not calling any of you out. I'm just pulling examples from your worlds. Don't read anything into it, right? You know, Gemma, you came on the call today and I said in one word, how are you feeling? And you're like, disorganized. Brilliant. I love that. I believe you. You're honest. If you'd come on the call and you're like, oh my God, I just feel like a freaking superstar boss who's got her shiz together. I would have been like, well, I just seen you get in your chair and you were a bit all over the place and your face was bright red and blah, 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 blah. And I believe that too. Right? But I trusted the answer that she gave because it was the truth. Don't be scared. None of us are perfect. You're not meant to be. If you were perfect, there'd be no need for this thing called evolution. Jess had this conversation with me in Voxer and I shared me using my tools and had so many DMs, it was insane. Yeah. Let people in. Anyone else with a question? Or Asti, do you have a supplementary question? No? I feel like
I don't really. I had 2 family reunions this last week, so it was insanely busy. And I basically did a deep dive into everything again yesterday. Stayed up till late, 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 just making sure I was going through everything. And I loved having that deep immersion into everything because I just felt completely lit up. And so then this morning I was sharing with my husband and I re-listened again before the call because I was like, I need to have a question, but I really didn't have one other than the one that kind of Debbie said, because I thought, well, what if you are having a dip? Then how do you portray that? So that was super helpful for me. But I just did have so many takeaways, just about things that I didn't know that I didn't know. So it was just fabulous, right? I'm just kind of sinking in and letting everything absorb.
Yeah. Do you know, I love what Asti just said because, you know, she was feeling a type of way for a minute. Life was busy. You know, she got into the trainings, dived into the trainings. In diving into the trainings, which is one of her tools, like dive into your study, like be coached and mentored, right? It's one of your tools. She felt so inspired that she then went and had these conversations with her husband. She was the ripple. And now, you know, you came on this call saying this program's been transformational for me. Can you imagine if she just didn't choose to use her tools? Now, imagine if you share that micro moment with your clients and relate it back to why they need a coach and a mentor. Right? So you're showing them, you're not saying, hey, you need a coach and a mentor because it's going to revitalize your morning and your passion and blah, 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 blah. You're like, hey, let me tell you about a moment in my world today. I was feeling a type of way. I chose to use my tools. I dived into a training with my coach, and this is what happened. That creates resonance. See the difference? Good. Cheryl, come on up. I'm getting good at saying Cheryl now instead of Cheryl. Have you noticed?
I feel like I've made it to the elite, you know, my name. Do you know what? It's my whole life because everybody says Cheryl in Scotland, so it's fine. And then until I have a glass of wine and then I get really pissed off about it. But like sober, I don't care. But yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. So like this is true, right? So today, so through being bigger than social media, I have created this speaking engagement. I didn't create it. I didn't call myself speaker on LinkedIn and look for it literally came to me. So I was stood up today in my living room, you know, washing out to dry, all of the things, like giving this speech, like mind blowing. And just for a moment, I went, that's a bit much. It's a bit much. It's very direct. And that is me. Like honestly, that's me. Like I'm just like, okay, I see you there. And actually, and I was soft around the edges, but like, is it okay to be just honestly like that's what my heart wants to say is to be like, look, stop playing small, basically. Like go for it. I did just catch myself because I'm used to doing that in an invitational space in terms of like like I'm there at the invite of one person. I don't know anybody in the room. So in my coaching spaces, I feel like I have beautiful agreements. I create that very powerfully.
Yeah.
But for some reason, this feels like more of an edge of like, I don't want people running to the toilet and crying and being like, "Oh shit, I'm playing a small game." Do you know that way? So that just came up for
Yeah,
me.
it's a good question, and I hear a little, I think you said the words too much, right? And there can often
Mm,
be a fear of like, am I being too much for people? And there's often a fear, like, or people will often ask the question, what's the difference between confidence and arrogance? That's another thing. Because people will say, well, I don't want to come across arrogant in my social media. I don't want to come across too much on a stage. The only time that you may come across arrogant rather than confidence is if you're not being who you declare yourself to be behind the scenes, because
mm,
people will feel the truth. They'll feel whether your audio and your video match, regardless of how much of a performance or a show you put on. So if you really are being who you declare yourself to be behind the scenes, and you're really sharing your truth, you're not preaching, you're literally sharing the truth of your lived experience, then you will be felt with love and as love and service. If there
mm.
is misalignment, there's some cleaning up to do before you say yes to the invitations.
Okay, great.
So that's
Great.
the
Mm,
difference. Now, the other part to what you said is, as a powerful leader, we really want to understand like false humility, right? So you have to understand that if I'm the one to take people to transformation, I can't play small. I have a responsibility to be all of me, to lead, to activate, to sugar is the word that I use, my people. And for some people, I know it's going to land in the moment. And for some people, I know they're not going to like what I say. But I'm okay with not being liked because I love you all so fiercely that I'm willing to say the things that other people won't. I'm not here to people please or pacify. I'm here to love you so powerfully that sometimes I might upset you, and I'm willing to for the long-term outcome that you've told me you want. That's part of leadership. You're not here to be liked. It's like parenting. You're not really here to be liked.
mm,
You're here to help your humans become the greatest versions of humans they can possibly be. And you also, as a leader, know that people have the autonomy to choose what's right for them. You also, as a leader, know that people have the capacity to feel their feelings. You don't need to pass them a tissue. You don't need to give them a hug. Like sometimes you just have to allow people to be in their process, knowing that by allowing them and not trying to speed up the process or bypass what they're feeling or make them feel better, you're allowing them to experience something they haven't before inside.
mm.
Job.
Yeah, amazing. I
Would you
think
hear?
what I was,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think what I was feeling was, I love this. Like if somebody got up on a stage and called me out like that, I would be like, oh, great, growth. And I think my thought process was something like, you know, like are people used to being in a room like that? So I think there was something for me to see. So I kind of pivoted and kind of set up like almost set up the container saying, like, you're gonna feel a certain type of way here. You're either gonna be so lit up or you might even like what I have to say, but that's the beauty of a mirror, right? You see your reflection. But yeah,
Yeah.
um, and then like cleaning up, it's an ongoing process. So yeah, but it's obviously like, yeah, speaking to things that are true. And then one of the things I did is as I was speaking, I went to my default of like, let me go talk about the stories that I'm really super comfortable with and I wanted to bring myself down because then I would be liked. Like that, I think that's what was coming through for me. Almost, no, I don't think I wanted to be liked, but I didn't want people to be uncomfortable. So I see like being liked as, oh, people are comfortable. But actually what I'm hearing is like that's not even true. And I think it's a disservice actually.
Right. And actually, if you see everybody in their power,
Mm,
then you would never need to bring yourself down to meet somebody else because you already see them in their power and all you're doing is reflecting their power back to them, which is why we always want to be in acknowledgement, right? It's like, I acknowledge you all for being here today. And I'm here to serve you so powerfully. Some of the things I say you're going to love and understand, and they're going to resonate with you right now. And some of the things maybe not, and that's okay. You know, when you're ready for that lesson, it'll find you. And then you share a story, and you're not telling them anything. You're allowing them to feel something within them so they have their own breakthroughs. That's what we do.
beautiful. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
These are big conversations, ladies. These are really, really big conversations. And that's why, you know, you want to dive into all of the trainings. You know, they're going to hit you where you are right now and be so powerful. And a year from now or 2 years from now, you're going to want to come back to this content and listen from who you are then. And they're going to impact you all over again. So you never need something new. It's like, let me go deeper with everything that's already there. And this is why we want to really, you know, the order of this year, it's like, let's create your $1 million offer. Let's really learn how to be bigger than social media. Next thing we're going to do is, she's the one. Okay, how do I build this brand? I've got the distinctions. How do I actually create a brand from these distinctions and all that I've learned? And we'll take it to the next level over and over again. Asti.
Okay, Cheryl, thank you so much for that conversation. That was incredible. And that kind of triggered something that came to me when I was going through all the trainings, which was between the relatability versus resonance, right? And I kind of feel like most of the problems in my life are because I'm trying to be relatable instead of just stepping into who I am and being that. So I don't even really know what I want to ask, but could you just speak to that a little bit more and maybe share what you think I or we should hear about that?
Yeah, I love that you asked this, and relatability versus resonance was obviously a big part of this Telegram experience, right? Now, you even if you catch your language when you asked the question, you said, I've been spending years trying to be relatable. Relatable to who? Like, what does that even mean?
I think I just have like what Cheryl said about just wanting people to feel comfortable. I think I just always want people to feel comfortable. And um, I had a big epiphany when you said being a leader isn't about being liked. It's about trying to help your humans be the best version of themselves. And that relates to family. It relates to motherhood. Like it just was a huge light
That's it.
bulb that went off for me. And I think I think I could figure out all the answers myself. I feel like this is a really yummy topic for me. And so I just want a little bit more.
Yeah, no, it's perfect, right? Because if we're trying to relate to somebody else, we think that we know what's going on in their world. And actually, when you think about that in itself, like I'm trying to relate to someone, I think I know what they're experiencing. There's kind of an arrogance to that. right? Who are we to know what's going on in other people's heads, minds, thoughts, thinking, feeling, like all of the things. And so when we stop trying to relate, because if we're trying to relate, we're editing our experiences to match what we think people need. Whereas when we're sharing from our stories and we're being so strongly felt, because we're not teaching something or telling somebody how to do something or trying to relate, we're just being, this is me, this is what's going on in my world, this is what I've learned from it, and this is how I've navigated through it. People experience, oh my God, I know that feeling. Oh my God, I know that feeling. And I thought my world was coming crashing down. But in her story, she felt the same way that I felt. And she used these tools, and now look at the possible, like what she's living. So now I can resonate with the feeling, and I could see possibility that I never saw before. And it wasn't because she tried to understand my situation. She was a human having a human experience. We're all so connected. We can all identify the feelings. And she's not trying to make herself better than me or think that she knows better. She just is me. She is me, and she's a few steps ahead. So I know her. She knows me. I trust her, and she's got what I want. So I'm going to have her be my one to lead me to where I want to get to. That's resonance. What are you hearing is the difference, Ashley? This is such a great conversation. Amazing.
Yeah, like, I think you're so right. I think in the past I have like interpreted that I think I know what people are going through, and so then I try to accommodate them, and I think I do edit my experience. Like I so do that. Even in my thing that I responded in the Telegram group, I wrote family's so important to me. And then I thought like, and I usually make choices to put family first. And I thought in my mind for good or ill, right? Because sometimes it's fantastic and sometimes it's not so much. And then I regret it, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is when you're being in your authentic identity, you just share your story. And if someone has something to learn from that, they'll hear it. If they have something to learn from it, but they're not there, they won't hear it. But they also won't feel like they're being condescended to because you weren't really trying to teach them anything. All you were doing was being your authentic self. You're just leading.
And being a mirror to what's possible for them.
Yes.
And that can only happen. You can only be a mirror to somebody else's power when you know that it's a power meets power relationship. I'm not better than anybody on this planet. I have different experiences. I've got something to teach you that can help you if you want to get to 5-figure months, or you want to create impact like we do at the Trailblazer table. I could support you there. But I can support you there because I am you. I'm not better. I've just made a lot of mistakes on this journey. And so I can support you to collapse time and space. And when I see you in your power, we have a different relationship. I'm not on a pedestal, I'm not placing myself on a pedestal. You're not placing me on a pedestal. It's like we can have conversations that are so real. There's no facade. Nobody's sending a representative because you all trust me. And
Is there a way? Oh, sorry, go ahead. I didn't know.
That's how we collapse time and space around the results.
And is there a way that you like say that you are meeting people in their power, or is it just like an energetic assumption that that you bring? Like, how does that actually get communicated?
Well, two things. I say it all the time, like I've just said it to you guys on this call. It's power meet power. So I'm sharing that, right? But how do people feel it? Because I am resonating with them. I'm showing them, not telling them, I'm showing you that was me. My husband burned all my clothes on fire. I had no money in the bank account. I never imagined I'd moved to America. I never imagined, we'd be living this life. I'm in awe every single day. I share stories like the story that resonated with you all recently was when Devin went away for a couple of days and I couldn't contact him by phone, and I was so frustrated. I went to Gucci and nearly bought something out of spite, and I didn't, because I reminded myself who the F I was. Now, when I share that story, you can all imagine getting mad at your husband for a minute, right? So, and some of you even messaged me afterwards, and you're like, Jess, it was so good to hear that you have these human moments too. And I'm like, of course I do, right? But those are the ones you remember more powerfully than I say, here's a template for you to use for your social media. Like, I could give you that, but what really hit with you? The stories that come from the micro moments that we often overlook.
Thank you for this. This was fantastic.
You're so welcome. Anybody else? Anyone else to wrap us up? Okay. So what I really want you to connect with from bigger than social media, it's certainly not about doing more. It's not about playing a game. It's not about trying to beat the algorithm. It's about creating your own rules. It's about owning and claiming who you are and having the humility to know that you're the one. Everything that you've lived up until this point has been so that you can support your people. Shrinking, waiting to be ready, wondering if people are going to get it, that's not being bigger than social media. You know the powerful journey that you can take people on. You've lived it. You literally are the result. You don't need social proof. You don't need testimonials. You are the result. You create your stories, you create your distinctions, you tell them on repeat, and you stay committed to the signature program, building the brand, being amongst your ideal clients in a way that lights you up because it's part of your life. Your content is right in front of you. You do not need to be a slave to social media. If you're using your tools, if you're living in your life and the results that you've created, everything is right there in front of you. Being bigger than social media is not about trying to get something right. It's not about trying to relate. It's about living in your life, being authentically you, warts and all. And it's about sharing so powerfully that people feel you, and not just once, over and over and over again. Because when you share on repeat from wisdom and you build a powerful brand, people will stay in your world forever. So that's what it's all about. So there's going to be one more Telegram training tomorrow, and then we're going to close this space. Today was Q&A day, wasn't it? And it's supposed to be a Q&A day for everybody. So let's do the Q&A day tomorrow. And that way, anything else that comes up, I'll be able to serve you there. It's a very big week. It was a big week last week with our godsons coming from the UK. This week is an incredibly big week, and I'll tell you once we're through it and what's been going on. I'm going to create, I think, the sea turtle distinction, if anybody saw my little video yesterday. So more to come, and thank you for understanding my confusion with the time changes. I hope you've all had massive value, and I'll see you wherever I see you next. Love you all. Bye, ladies. Bye, bye, bye.